Okay, welcome back to Tech and Learning Live at ISTE 2016 in Denver, Colorado. My name's Kevin Hogan, Content Director for Tech and Learning. This is day number 2, interview number 15 maybe of the day. We've had some wall-to-wall coverage here. It's been a lot of fun with the social media hub, and the amount of traffic that we're seeing on the hub says that our readers are really enjoying it. So I feel it's an experiment that was successful. And wrapping up, I think there's no better person to have here than Brian Lewis, CEO of ISTE.
Thanks, Kevin.
We were the first people to speak at last Friday at our school CII Summit. And,
That's right.
500, 600 people later, here we are again.
Yeah,
so,
no kidding.
Thank you very much for taking time out
to come
and to talk to us. And,
pleased to be here.
The question I've been asking anyone, but you're the best person to ask, how is ISTE this year?
It's unbelievable. You know, I never cease to be amazed by the energy that happens every year, no matter what part of the country we're in. And of course, we had record-breaking attendance in Atlanta 2 years ago, came within a few hundred of that people, through 350 people of that in Philadelphia. We were at 16,000 paid registrants in Atlanta, broke the record by 3,000 people, came within 350 of that in Philadelphia. We projected a little more conservatively because the metro area here isn't as big, but we're breaking expectations. So we're thrilled because it is that energy, the human energy that people bring to the ISTE conference that makes it what it is.
Yeah,
so we're very grateful.
So watching the hub and watching the things that are trending, one ISTE-related one was the release of the standards. You want to talk a little bit about that?
The new ISTE student standards. We launched the work last year in Philadelphia. We've released them this week. It was a very robust process, more robust than ever. Global input. We had 296 students that gave input this time, which was a new component of the refresh standards. Very much focused on student voice as one of the key factors in the new refresh standards. A great deal of work has gone into it, and we're very excited about it. One of the things that we're going to do differently going forward than in the past with the release of the new standards is we have a little bit more robust permissions process. We want educators to use it for free, but one of the questions we've gotten over the years has been what kind of data do you have on where and how many are using it in what way. And so we're just going to ask educators when they go through the process is just give us a little more data, and of course we'll be gathering that data as we gather it and sharing it back out because it is data that we want and they want, and so it's just a couple more steps to get permission, but we as always we want as many educators as possible to be using the ISTE standards, and of course we released that this week, and at the same time we've launched the refresh process for the teacher standards, which we'll release next year in 2017 in San Antonio.
Great. Some of the discussion online that I've seen talks a little bit about the weight of technology and education, and as a magazine called Technology and Learning, we're always kind of on that balance too. It seemed that it was as versus the last standards that the education is kind of is taking a greater weight. I guess that would be that.
Sure, one way or the other.
Technology.
It's been a long day, right?
It's been a long day. Yeah. Where do you see it on that
Well,
scale?
I mean, I think, I wasn't here in the earliest editions of the standards, which as I understand were really about how to use technology, right? And so over the years they continually refresh to meet the realities of the world that we're in. And I think these appropriately reflect the focus on learning and the contemporary research and knowledge that we have about what learning should be and how to effectively use technology. So it makes perfect sense that recent research and conversation around the brain and neuroscience and student-centered learning and what does that mean and how does that get manifested is all part of the conversation that led to these student standards, which of course then become the foundation for the teacher, administrator, and the rest. So I think it makes perfect sense because the work is evolving. The standards certainly need to be reflective of that.
Great. So still don't have time to digest everything that's going on, but what's on the horizon for ISTE going into next year? Yeah,
well, again, the standards are our foundation. So the refresh of the teacher standards, we're looking at a lot of new types of collaborations. One of the things the board wants us to do, as you know, is to encourage more educators to use the standards as a resource, right? I often talk and I say, it's like, no matter where you are in the process, no matter what your level of expertise is, they're going to help you. And the board definitely wants more educators to be supported. So through new and different partnerships and collaborations that allow us to get the standards in the hands of more people wherever they are on the world, we're looking at that. You know, we just finished a significant train-the-trainer professional learning contract in Malaysia. That's representative of the type of work we want to do more of, both domestically and around the globe, and so we hope to grow that work. It's not only, I mean, it's twofold. We have a mission we intend to fulfill, and we have to be a self-sustaining business. Mm-hmm. You know, they often say nonprofit is a tax status, not a business model, and that's really true. And what the board expects me to do is to do both, is to fulfill mission and run an effective business. The last piece has to do with the tweak to our brand strategy, which is to have greater clarity around ISTE as a cause-based organization, and we introduced that at the general session on Sunday night. And the truth is ISTE's always been a cause-based organization, as represented by virtue of the work that the organization has always done. And we want folks to increasingly understand us as such. The board, the organization, the entity has no self-interest. Our reason for existing is to support educators around the globe in being successful. And so I'm really excited about that piece, because one of the ways that we're going to be able to serve more in the future is by matching up places who want the type of professional learning that we can help provide based on the standards, with perhaps funders who can say, yeah, I have a reason to invest in this region, this country, this state, this district, this site, and will allow us to, again, because of that, fulfill the mission more fully. And that is, we hope, going to be helped by people understanding us as a cause-based organization, and that's why we exist.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, thanks again for your time.
Always a pleasure to talk with you, Kevin.
Congratulations on another great ISTE.
Thank you.
And we'll start looking forward to San Antonio on maybe Friday.
Yeah. Take a breather.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks a mil.
Thanks again.